Mzansi Podcast back with a big bang. I had to say that a bang is big, but I had to make it known that it is still a big bang, guys. And I'm still tuned in. You are still tuned into
Mzansi Podcast, the fast and the growing podcast in Mzansi. So welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for your time, your data, your everything. We really appreciate your attendance and just to tuning in onto this show.
your Wi-Fi and airtime. That has to be included because we know.
Yeah, absolutely. With the country that we live in, it's quite expensive, so we really appreciate the effort. And yeah, thank you so much.
Maybe we
guys.
must start giving out airtime, guys. Serious.
Yeah,
People must win airtime and data. So that they could still get tuned into us.
Stay tuned on the show, guys. There's prizes, there's rewards that you can win. You can get yourself the uncapped data just for free, just for tuning in. So you can imagine, that's really nice, guys. Just to make sure that you're always on our podcast, on our screen, and stay tuned.
And who doesn't like free things? Even I love freebies, guys. Please, if somebody has something to give to me, please send it to. Okay, next time.
Thank you so much. Today, guys, we've got our ladies. You know, me, I go by the name of Ayanda Zaza, your host, and I've got my host here.
The host is Tebinti.
Yeah. So today, guys, we've got our lady, our beautiful lady here next to us.
Basetsana.
You heard it yourself, that's Basetsana.
Basetsana, guys, we are going to be engaging with her today. So today's episode is, it's rather serious. We are engaging, we're having a gender-based violence engagement or discussion, however way you want to call it, but it is a discussion and we want to hear from you what you have to say. Share your stories with us, share the audio, share what you know about somebody who does not want to speak about what is happening to them, people who are victims to gender-based violence and even victimizers. We want to know what's going on through their heads. Why do you have to initiate a gender-based violence to a harmless woman?
Yeah, I think today's show, guys, it's one of the important shows that you guys as well. I'm sure there's so many viewers at home. They're also experiencing the same experience that Basetsana will be taking us through her life, her journey to date. So I'm sure you guys also have experienced some of the things that she'll be talking about and how she managed to come up into those things and how she made it through. So it's quite important, guys. I think you must just make sure that you listen properly and engage, see how did she manage to get through all these things. So tune in, stay tuned, and don't move.
And one thing about gender-based violence, it does not happen to people who are poor, people who are unemployed, people who've never been to school, people who are uneducated. It happens to even the high prolific people who are highly educated, people in senior and powerful positions. It happens to everyone, and that everyone could even be your sister, your family, your mother, your daughter. It could be even that person could be you. So gender-based violence is rife in this country. It's out of control. So it's predominant, and we are taking a stand as Mzansi Podcast to say, let us have this discussion, let us come up with solutions, let's just not just talk, but let us act against gender-based violence. And that is why we have Basetsana today in the studio with us to say, Basetsana, please take us through your ordeal. We cry with you, we are with you, but we are fighting with you.
Welcome, Basetsana. Welcome to the show.
We have to give you a round of applause. That's how, you are special to the podcasts and to people of the podcasts. Even the viewers find you, our fans even find you just as special. It takes courage for somebody to speak about something like this. And we value your time, we value your presence and your contribution to make the podcast what it is today. Welcome.
I don't even know where to start.
We are starting from the beginning.
Yeah.
First and foremost, when you were young, I'm assuming you have kids, So when you were young, I'm sure you aspired to be something and somebody. What were your aspirations? What did you hope you'd become? What did you hope one day when we sit like this, would be talking about apart from GBV?
What did I aspire when I was growing up? I aspired to be an advocate. I loved law so much because there's an uncle of mine who was a lawyer and he was doing very great work with human rights and all of that. So I aspired to be a lawyer. I thought I'd be sitting like this today. Advocate Basetsana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rocking, doing my thing in the courtroom
Sure.
and all of that. But life, I'm here today.
Sure.
Okay. I have no regrets about some
Yeah.
things. But I'll surely get to where I want to be someday.
But it's a blessing in disguise. Today you're advocating for gender-based violence. How do you like that? You're advocating for something. Might not be law or in the courtroom, but it is something.
Yeah. So I guess I'm playing my part.
Right.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Sure.
And with GBV, guys, the way it's so straight, or how can I put it? The way it's so hard opening up or talking about such things or expressing yourself in a way. Like you would see people walking around smiling on the street, they're at the malls, others we attend, we work with them, our colleagues, but you'll never see anything or maybe someone expressing themselves, this is what's happening at home, this is how my husband or my family treats me or whoever that I live around. But they're always quiet. You see this happy young lady or a guy or whoever, but it's hard to tell because looking at you, you're so beautiful. Who can tell? Who can tell? No one can tell.
Because I mean, when you're at the mall or at the street or wherever you're at, you actually feel much safer outside of your own home than when you're at home actually.
Yeah.
So when you're with other people, you get the chance to laugh, to express yourself, to even speak. Whereas at home, you need to watch how you sit, how you speak, how you address yourself.
Yeah.
Because something like that might tick this person off, and that person
Of course.
can do whatever it is they want to do with you.
So what kind of a person are you? What attributes Basetsana to be the person that she is today?
Oh, Basetsana. Basetsana is a fun, loving person, a mother of 3 as well. I'm an extrovert. I love the outdoors. I love being with people. I love going out.
Yeah.
But as well as I love my own space as well, and I don't know how I'm just a people's person.
Yeah.
And I just I like to say very focused when I have to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So where did Basetsana grow up? Like let's go back to the childhood where you grew up and to
My upbringing. Basetsana grew up in Rockville, Soweto.
Shout out to Soweto.
Yeah, Basetsana grew up in Rockville, Soweto. I was raised by my grandfather and my grandmother. My mom at the time was running school. She was at school doing her thing. And I was at school, grew up like just any other child's mom, vacationing. Pretty much that. I don't know much to say about it.
So let's talk about this fun time, amazing time when you meet this man that you think you're in love with, and he'll treat you like like diamond. He'll take care of you.
Yeah.
What attracted you to this man?
It was a very nice time. We actually met. We had mutual friends. So I met him through mutual friends. Very nice guy, great sense of humor. I'm a sucker for a guy who can make me laugh. So that is one thing, It's what that attracted me to him the most. Very nice, down to earth. At first, we came across like that. Yeah, and we started a relationship. It was okay at first. And I guess because we hadn't known each other for that long at that time.
Yeah.
But as soon as we went deep into the relationship, then the red flags started.
So how old were you at the time when you guys met?
When we met, 6 years ago, I was 26 when I met him, and he's a bit older than me. He's like 8 years older than me.
So you were 26 at the time?
At the time,
So was it love at first sight? Did you just love what you fell in love with, or he had to pursue Basetsana?
He had to pursue this. It was not lavish for the sex. No, it was not just. No, I had to pursue Basetsana, like any other guy. I
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had something
that you liked.
That I liked. I went for it and thought, why not try it out?
Yeah.
I think I was still young at the time. Yeah, and I only had only had one kid at the time. I think, so.
Did you have other kids?
He had one kid as well, and
Okay.
himself. Yeah, so I had one kid, he had one kid. And we were trying to do this whole dating things. Yeah, and then we dated and then we fell in love.
I'm sure at the time you had your planning as a woman, like this is the type of man and
I
one kids,
hope,
one family,
yeah.
one get married.
I build with him.
Yes.
I see myself in the next 5 years with him doing this and that. Yeah.
How long after you dated he first laid his hand on you?
A year.
A year.
Just very early.
No.
Yes. A year.
So what do you think triggered that moment for him to even raise a hand on you?
I honestly don't even know what triggered him to do that, but we were having an altercation, we were arguing.
Oh.
So it was during an argument, and I think honestly, he felt like I challenged him a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because women can challenge.
Yeah, he
verbally.
felt
Yeah.
challenged, and he just slapped me on the spot.
Okay.
So did it happen in public or you were at home?
Yeah.
How was the environment when it happened? Like,
The altercation started when we were in public, and then he waited for us to get home. And then he slapped me. at
So
home.
how did you feel like after that slap? What was going through your mind?
Honestly, at that time, I could not even believe it. I was so shocked.
Yeah.
I was thinking, how is this happening to me? Wow. I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it, honestly.
Sure. What was the reaction from him after slapping?
Saying what? I'm sorry.
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
I
I'll never
didn't
do it
mean
again. I
to.
don't want you.
Sure.
You know how much I love you. It's just an ongoing cycle.
And I think of coming from a male perspective, we know very well that women are weak. They can't fight. They can't do anything. So, to me, as a guy, slapping a woman, I know very well that this person won't even defend herself. So why do I do it from the first place? I think it's one of those things that I would sit back and realize, like, you know what, it's like fighting with a child that won't do anything, but the only thing that will say, it will only talk. And we know you guys are vocal, yes, which is okay, and that's how you express yourself. But in order for us, if there's a problem, we need to sit down and talk about it. If there's something that we don't understand or maybe we don't get along, we sit down and analyze that. Where's the issue? How do we fix this issue? But putting a hands on a woman, then that's wrong. That's really wrong.
So also, where were you guys at? Was it your place that you owned with him, that you were renting out his home or your house? Like, where were you guys?
Not even. I was at my I stayed home, and then I stayed.
Oh yes, he's okay.
Sure. So it's like that. We never really had a place of our own or anything like that. So at the time when he slapped me,
Yeah.
we were at his place. Yes.
Okay. So was it that once-off moment, or it perpetuated for a particular period?
It happened for a good time because I stayed with him for 6 to 7 years, and I was in an abusive relationship for like 6 years.
Okay. The big question: what made you stay in that relationship?
Honestly, I look back now and I'm thinking I don't even know. But at that time, because I still loved him and I thought he would change, because he'd say things like that, and sometimes it would get better for like 3 weeks to a month, and it would start again.
Yeah.
You understand? So then during the process, there were kids involved. So I thought maybe because he's the father of my kids, this and that. yeah, maybe the situation might get better.
Yeah.
You know, if maybe I can change this, if I can do that. There was a point in time where I actually thought that I was the problem. You know, he made me feel like that.
Sure.
Yeah, he made me feel like I was the problem, where I had to watch how I speak and how I portray myself, how I am with people in public,
Especially
who I laugh with, because when we're back at home alone, these things will come to me.
Was it in the presence of your kids?
Yes.
When he abused you, or it was just behind closed doors when
In
he
the
was
presence of my kids, that's when the abuse, I saw that this was escalating.
So every time when you went to bed and your kids saw that this man is violating, did you not ever think that one day this man will kill me and my kids would be without a mother?
Those thoughts are running through my mind almost every day, because there's a point in time, especially in my daughter's house, she's a little older than these young ones. There's a lot of things that she saw. I mean, I think like right now she's still healing. She's still confused.
Yeah.
Because she saw a lot of things.
And how old is the daughter?
She's 9.
She's 9 years old, obviously. Yeah.
So she saw a lot of things. So when you came to ask what was going through my mind when I was in bed, you know, I'd literally fall asleep in the afternoon, because at night I'd be afraid of sleeping, thinking he might just wake up and do something to me or even the kids.
But for a good 6 years old, you still fell in love with this man and continued in that relationship.
I was in love with him at the beginning, but then towards the end, it was more of fear, and you know, I used to resent him. I used to think of things like, maybe why don't I just kill him, just end it, or I don't know. I used to fear him the most.
Yeah.
There was no longer love or anything like that. I just used to fear him.
So at the time, you didn't think of maybe report it, or maybe speak to your parents, or speak to your friends, someone who's closer to you, just to open up? Because I would understand you were still young, age 26, maybe you're also vulnerable, you're scared, you don't know what to say, but I'm sure you had friends and those close cousins, sisters, or maybe anyone, family member that you could...
You know, you have those people around you, like friends and people who see what you're going through. But I don't know what it is about a victim who's being abused. You've always got this thing of protecting your abuser. Understand? You always find a way of protecting your abuser. Should anybody say something bad about him, you're the one to protect him. You understand? So there was a point in time where I used to protect him, where people tried to intervene and help me because they could see I was in trouble.
Yeah.
But I'd be the very same person to push those people away and protect my abuser and stay with my abuser.
So Basetsana, let's talk about that one time that you recall so vividly where he victimized you. What was the magnitude of that abuse? What did he do to you where you felt, I could die from this relationship?
We were sitting down the road from his place with friends, and we were having a good time and all of that. We got home and he said to me, well, every guy that was there is my boyfriend, and I love too much with people and I do this and that.
Yeah.
Okay, so an argument transpires now, with arguing and going back and forth about that. He literally took a bucket of urine and he poured it all over.
In front of people?
No,
There was
with my son,
Mm-hmm.
the 3-year-old's what was it? Yeah, that's like it was still a baby. He threw urine everywhere. And he kicked me and slapped me, hit me against the wall, threw me on the floor. My child was screaming at the time. There was a point in time. I get he was trying to burn me. Burn me with hot water. My daughter ran out of the next room. My daughter was sleeping with his mother. That's when his mother got out and intervened. He was trying to kill me. I literally ran out of there barefoot to the police station. fearing for my life, and I left my kids behind with the very same person. My kids are in the house, but I can't get them because he's trying to burn me.
So it's someone you loved that just turned into a monster.
Yeah. It turned into something I had never seen.
Is this someone who possibly suffered some, or maybe growing up in a
post-traumatic
yes,
experience?
you know those people
yes,
that
there are people. I think he comes from a background like that. I think he's seen his father eat his mother, and so I guess that's where maybe.
So at that moment when he was abusing you, his mother was in the house. Despite the screams, no one came to your rescue.
His mother used to come to my rescue, but she's old. She's
Okay.
she's frail. She's on a crutch. So there's nothing she can do.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the reality of South African women, fans and viewers of Mzansi Podcast. This is a day in the life of a South African black woman. And I'd like to say that because as a black person myself, but I'm assuming it happens to all races, women in all races, that I need to very much specify. But this is the reality of being a woman in South Africa. This is what you have to go through. I mean, the instances are very, very, they're not even minimal. Like I can count, there are a lot of them that we don't know about. But those that came to the fore, we've got your Karabo Mokoena, who, it's even sad to relate that story. And then as a man who's listening to a young lady telling her story about gender-based violence, what is your stance as the host of Mzansi Podcast and as a man, in South Africa?
I would say as a man, it's really degrading us as men, because we are designed to protect women. We are designed to lead. We are designed to be there and make sure that our women are protected. So the way things are turning out to be here in South Africa, it's really not a nice situation. And what Basetsana she has gone through, it's something that she will have to live with for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Looking at the kids were so young, like 6, 7. So you can imagine that kid already has these memories, has these visuals throughout forever, for the rest of her life. So it's really not a good thing to do, and I would say that is not acceptable, and we need to make sure that we protect our women, we make sure that we create an environment that is conducive for everyone to live in. Such situations, it's not nice at all.
So would you safely say all men are trash? Men are trash? Would you say that?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say all men are trash. There are very good men out there.
Really?
Yes.
And you say that with a smile.
With a smile.
Yes, not all men are trash. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even. No.
Let's
You
talk
can't
about
make them
men.
all with the same brush.
I know that for sure. Let's talk about men within your circle that you could pinpoint and say this and that men are not trash.
My father is not trash.
Yeah.
I've actually practically got 2 men in my life, and my man, therefore, he's not trash. Yeah.
Aww.
Oh, let's say
Yes.
Trash.
No, not really. No, not all men are trash, like she said. Yes, there are men who are bad. Yeah, we are human beings after all.
Yeah.
We can't be perfect, and yes, there are men who are trash. There are men who are good men. Plenty of them actually. So it's just a matter of finding one and understanding that person. Obviously, you cannot tell by seeing a person. As a guy, we always perceive women and we'll tell you all the things that you want to hear. That you patagate, I'll love you, I'll do this for you, blah blah, I'll get married and all this. But as time goes on, that's when you see a real man, a real person that you're dealing with after like 3 to 6 months or 8 months, then you see the person that you're dealing with. That this is not the person. And as soon as you see those red flags,
Run.
As fast as you can.
Run. So let's talk about that one time where you decided enough is enough.
Enough is enough was actually even another incident that happened. We were having an altercation again. You know what he did? He spat in my face.
what?
Yeah. What time?
Spat in my face in public and told me how disgusting I am. And my kids are there, and other kids are watching. You understand? Imagine the effect that had on my kid while she was playing with other kids there. So I decided to involve the community, because there's a community forum that's happening in our hood for like things like that, domestic things, and so I decided to involve the community, and they helped me out, and then I went to go for a restraining order as well, and I got a case against him, but I didn't follow through with the protection order, because then again he's got the kids to see, and
So you were caught up between two situations here. You're trying to get this guy arrested out of your life completely. At the same time, he's the father of your kids.
Yes.
He needs to see the kids.
I'm in a situation.
You didn't have a mind or maybe think of a solution like, you know what, let me just cut him completely out of my life, even out of my kid's life.
I don't think well, I thought of it, but then, if I cut their father's life out, they boys at the end of the day, I think they might need their father someday. What if they turn around and blame me for their father not for being their lives or something like that? I thought of something like that. So I decided to cut him loose from me and sorted it out with that case that I did against him and the community, including my family. So he's no longer part of my life. All he does is come and see his kids and do whatever he has to do with his kids, but he doesn't have any connection.
So if he's still around, then you never proceeded with the case. He didn't get arrested.
He didn't get arrested. They went and warned him. That's how justice system today.
So in essence, there was no case against him.
There was nothing. They go there and they go and threaten him or warn him, whatever it is that they do. The first time you go there, they go and warn him. Then they ask you a number of times, do you want to open a case? And you agree, and they still say, no, you might just get back together with him. He's the father of your child.
But also, Basetsana, there's a greatest phenomenon that happens around victims of gender-based violence, that they always have that element of, but he is still this to me or to my family, but he is still this. So you pursuing the case went up to a certain limit, like you could not fully pursue the case because you felt, no, he's the father of my kid. But why, even when he victimized you in the presence of your kids, did he not think about the point that, or the fact that he was a father to your kids? Why did you have to think about that for him?
I honestly don't know. I think to answer the question.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I honestly don't, because he didn't even think twice about hurting me. I don't know why I'm honestly thinking about him, considering his feelings. I don't.
Okay. So are you not then afraid that he might come back to harm you even more, and this time it would be for the worst?
I am. That I am.
So you live in fear?
Yes, I'm in fear.
In your own home?
That I am.
But don't you know that, or did you not think that you are perpetuating your fear even greater by allowing this man to come to your space to see his kids?
Of course I knew all of that. But at the back of my mind, it was just always about the kids and him being able to do what he can for the kids.
Yeah. So Ayanda, how do we help Basetsana? Here's a case of gender-based violence initiated by a man who feels he's superior and can victimize this fearless woman who can't even protect herself. As Mzansi Podcast, how do we assist Basetsana to stop living in fear?
Yeah, I think as Mzansi Podcast, we will try our best to make sure that Basetsana lives the life that she deserves, and she lives in a free community where she can express herself and be a happy woman like any other.
Yeah.
We do not condone GBV, not at all.
Sure.
It's one of those things that is not acceptable, and if such happens, then that person deserves to be jailed. Whether it's small because there's different types of gender-based violence. There's sexual harassment, there's physical abuse, emotional, there's so many things. So even the viewers at home, you might be suffering something different from what Basetsana just expressed, and there's so many things. So if you also are having such issues, hit us up on Mzansi Podcast at gmail.com. And how we're going to help Basetsana in this, we'll make sure that she gets protected, we'll engage with the gender-based violence community, report it, and she'll live the life that she deserves.
Yeah, and guys, this is all heavy. It's taking this discussion is like it hits home to each and every person has got that person that they can always refer to who's been victimized, either financially, physically, spiritually, or even physical. So guys, straight after this, we'll be coming back. Let's just grab something. Let's take a breather from this discussion as we also think it through. How on earth are we going to be coming up with a solution to it? So you're still tuned into Mzansi Podcast. We'll be right back.